Appalachian Eats. I'm Jessica DeLong.
And I'm Dottie DeLong. And today we're going to make a jam or jelly that I've never made before, but I've certainly eaten plenty of it. Jessica makes it using my grandmother's a recipe for one of her cookbooks. And I'll let you tell a little bit about that cookbook.
Well, the cookbook, when we were tearing down the little house on Lost Creek, which was your
my great-grandmother's
home, I found a box in there, and when I pulled it out, there were a bunch of doilies, there was a quilt top, of course, mice and moths had really done a number on those things. But when I got to the bottom, there were a bunch of handwritten recipes, there was a recipe book, newspaper clippings, and all sorts of stuff. But in the bottom, I found a 1942 Canning for Victory Kerr canning book. And that was really my first canning book. Now, the FDA today will tell you not to go buy a 1942 canning book, but I actually applied the FDA's rules and stipulations to those recipes. And this was one of the recipes I made, because you think winter is kind of a weird time to make jam or jelly, because usually you're making it when you went out and picked berries or something. But this is actually, it is called winter jam, and because you're going to use cranberries, and cranberries are usually, available this time of year. So we're going to film this part here just to kind of showing you what goes in the first step, and then we'll go over to the stove and show you how this jam's put together. But we're going to need 3 cups of cranberries, and these were frozen. I have a very hard time finding any in our area after Christmas, so at Christmas I grabbed a bunch of bags and threw them into the freezer. So these are actually still frozen, but it doesn't matter, they're going to be cooked. 1 cup of diced apples, and these apples do look brown because they have been frozen. These are my Appalachian apples. I'm very picky about my apples, and later on, hopefully in the summer, I'll do a video showing you why I'm so picky about my apples. There are 2 apples that I only cook with, and that is the Wilson apple and a Rome Beauty. And if I don't have those apples, then we don't have pies or anything else. So I just wait until I have those apples. So these, I believe these are Rome Beauty here, but you can use any apple that cooks up well. You'll want to do your research on it, because not just any apple will do. It needs to be able to cook up well. And then we're going to need 1.5 cups of water. And back here on the stove, I don't know if you could see, but I have a big pot back here. And that is where I have my jars kind of boiling, because I want them sterilized. And I didn't put my lids in there just yet, because I think it was the Ball Company, the lids that I have, they don't require that you boil them anymore. They just want you to dunk them. I think it's like 15 seconds or something, to make sure there's no germs left on them, but you do not boil those lids. Make sure you check your packaging and check your lids. So, all right, so we're going to take this over to the stove, put it in a pot over here, and we're going to boil it until everything is clear, and we're going to run it through a sieve, and we'll show you what we're going to do with that. So we have our cranberries, apples, and water, and we showed you we sieved all that out. And there are some seeds in there. If you don't want seeds in there, you might want to put that through maybe a jelly bag or like a cheesecloth type of a thing. Personally, I don't mind it. I actually kind of like it. So now we're going to go on with the second step. So we're going to add this back to our pan. We have 3 cups of sugar, 1.5 tablespoons of lemon juice, and you could use fresh lemon, I just didn't have one, and 1 cup of crushed pineapple. And I didn't drain the juice out. I just kind of, as I spooned it out, I let the juice kind of drain out, but I didn't like pack it down or anything. So that's what we're going to put together in the pot right now. And in our instructions, it says to just bring this to a rapid boil, or boil until thick, I think.
Boil the mixture rapidly until it's thick and clear.
Okay, and we don't have, there's no pectin in this, and that's one of the things I like about this jam. I really don't like dealing with pectin. It seems like if I just boil, you know, make a jelly or a jam just with sugar, I do so much better than pectin. I don't know what I do wrong. And I read the instructions, people, so don't put in the comments, read the instructions, because I do. And the worst one is the pepper jelly. I never can get my pepper jelly to set. I finally just gave up, so I may have to find somebody that knows what they're doing in that regard. And I'll hand that off to you.
Okay.
Okay, well, add my lemon juice. I'm going to turn this back on. Okay, we'll go on this side.
Yeah.
And 3 cups of sugar, and that's what gives you your thickening. And you don't want to boil it too much, because I have actually boiled some peach jam one time too much, and it was very hard. You couldn't put it on your toast because it would rip your toast up. So don't do that either. But you want to get to a point where it'll coat like the back of your spoon. You can do this with it, and it will coat. You just have to be very careful, because you are dealing with sugar. And you'll see I have an apron on because...
and I'm hiding behind her.
She's got a new shirt, so she's behind me. It can get quite hot and messy. So I'm just going to put all of this together. Another way of eating jam, I don't know, you may do, you may not. We have mixed different jams with cream cheese.
Cream cheese. Mm.
And put it on crackers. And if you have a sweet jam, you could use graham crackers, and savory, of course, you can use a more savory cracker. And those make great hors d'oeuvres or appetizers, that type of thing. So we're just going to bring this up to a boil and kind of show you our progress. Now, when we boiled just the first 3 ingredients, I think it took us about 12 minutes. I'd have to go back and look at the videos and look at the time on them, but I think it was around 12 minutes, if I'm not mistaken, for them to get to a good consistency that would go through the sieve. And you have to watch your cranberries. If you have never cooked cranberries, they do pop, hence the apron. And I had to do a little cleanup in the kitchen before I got to this point. Alright, so here are my hot jars. And I didn't know exactly, it's been a while since I've made this, probably up in the camera, but I just used my tongs and empty the water out, put that in. Okay, Meemaw, I'm going to need a skipper or a dipper or a cup for...
Oh, let's see.
This is still kind of boiling a little bit, or it's so hot. Let's see. And it's splashing a little bit, so I'll set it over here.
We might use this old cup here.
Yeah, that's Richard's favorite cup.
Well, I hope we don't crack it.
Be very upset with me. Okay, so this is really, really hot, so do be careful. Okay. And a little messy. Okay. It could never be said I was a clean person in the kitchen, because, I mean, I wash my hands, don't get me wrong, but I'm messy when I do things. Okay, so, ta-da! Now I have my little wand here, and get my little lid, Now, can I have a paper towel, please? I should have already had that out. That's my fault. Okay, and can you wet it just so? I'm gonna be in trouble. Just a touch. What I like to do is run it around the edge, just in case I was to have something. And I would always do that, especially like can of green beans and stuff, because I always put my salt in the top. And so I just wipe. There's probably nothing here, but makes me feel better, and you get a better seal. And do a little drop of water on there, but okay. Then we have the ring. It's gonna be hot, Meemaw.
I know. I got old hands. Old tough hands.
There was a historian I like to watch, historian chef, and he said he had asbestos hands. I thought that was so funny because he would just reach into, he would cook on these old spiders and things in the fireplaces of like colonial Williamsburg. So, yeah. Now this does not make a ton, I'll tell you that. We've sat here and debated what we thought we were going to get out of it. And it's not going to be a ton.
Are you going to get 3 jars?
Oh, yeah.
Because one has to go to my house.
Well, I was thinking about that.
I'll move it, and you go on to the next.
Okay, and I'll hand you a thing. I had nowhere else to put the camera, so we're going with what we got. So if you see my hand, for the most part, I'm sorry. It just is what it is. Oh, and I'll go ahead and get you another one. I have one of these little ones. I was ambitious. I had like 7 or 8 of these in there.
I know it is. There's a lot.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen. Okay. Whoop, put that there. All right. I think I'm down to the point where I could actually pick this up and just scrape some out. Yeah. Leave it to you. Don't lick it.
Well, I might lick it.
And you can see it's already sort of setting up on me, which is good. And we had talked just a minute ago. You don't want to necessarily, this is not a jelly. A jelly would be maybe a little firmer. Hope I don't drop it in the floor. But this is a jam, and jam is more spreadable. So, at least that's my story, and I'm going to stick with it. Okay, and one more, Meemaw.
Did you wipe that down?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, I'm about to put the lid on it.
It's like a miracle. Hold it on the side. Okay. And this one may just be what we have left here, the taste test. So let me grab another little jar and we'll put the rest of it in here. Now I'm not going to hot water bath these. Some people do if you want to do long-term storage, but in our household, this will not last long enough for me to even bother with that. That's why I just make sure everything is very, very clean. If you don't want to hot water bath yours, and you're still worried, put it in the refrigerator and keep it in there. It'll keep just fine. You gonna hold that, Meemaw?
I am.
Just hold it one side. You sure?
Yep.
Okay. I should have just asked for your help in the first place. There we go. But look how pretty. I love the color. Cranberries just really give it a pretty color. Yeah, this is going to be the biscuits tomorrow jar.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Can you see?
I just like to get all of it out. Okay. Need a spatula. There we go. All right.
You want to get a piece of bread and sop it around the sides?
Well, if you'll sit there and hold it. Okay, go with it. All right. So this one, we'll go ahead and I'm going to stick it down in there and let it come out as well. And like I said, I'm not going to worry about, I'm just going to put a lid on it and not really wipe it because it's going to be one that we eat relatively soon. So actually, let's just let it sit, and that way we'll make a piece of toast here in a minute.
Okay.
All right, so we have our jam here. We made 3 half pints here. It didn't make nearly enough, did it? No. We're going to make some more. I'd pull the rest of the cranberries out of the freezer.
It's a good thing winter's almost over.
Because this is not going to last. We're going to make us some summer jam next time. So it's been setting for maybe 10 minutes, and it's setting up really nicely. And as I mentioned earlier, this is not jelly, so it's not going to be, gelled. A jam is something that's easy spreadable, or easy to spread. And this is still hot, but we're going to go ahead and try it with a little bit of toast. Now, in the morning, this will be fantastic with a biscuit. The only thing we need to know is who's getting up making the biscuits.
Yeah, well.
I'll let you.
I'm retired.
Well, that gives you the perfect excuse to get up and make biscuits in the morning. All right. I got my piece. And this won't last long. I mean, not today, but just in general.
Oh, I'm going with the whole thing here.
Okay. I'll have to edit out the crunching, but okay, you ready?
Ready.
All right. What do you think?
It's good.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? It's got me wanting to put this in cream cheese and have it with crackers ever since you talked about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like it like that. Some graham crackers.
We'll have to have a party so we can do this.
What's coming up next? Hey,
I got a birthday.
Oh, your birthday's on Saturday. Valentine's Day, we have two parties. Valentine's and then your birthday. Okay, so as a side note, our channel is Appalachian Eats.
Yes.
Appalachia. Which is correct. Which is correct.
But we always said Appalachian.
Right. Now, I've heard a little, I almost go to proverb. If you say Appalachia, I'll throw an Appalachia. So, I won't throw an Appalachian.
That's good.
But yeah, we say Appalachian Eats.
Appalachian.
Now, I found a list on Facebook this week. It was actually from our Historic Wayne County, West Virginia. It's a Facebook page from our region, from our county. And it says, how many of these phrases have you heard? And do you still say any of these? Okay. Someone is peaked.
Oh, they're sick.
Okay. Now, see, she knows what that is.
I thought I was supposed to have my answer.
Is she peaked?
We got a peek at one in the other room.
When the kids run in the house and they're
look a
tired and
little
they're pale, I say, you look peaked. I krilled my ankle.
Oh, you turned your ankle.
A fodder shock.
Those are the dried up corn stalks.
Okay. You spoke to someone on the road.
You spoke to someone on the road.
Mm-hmm.
You stopped and talked to someone on the road.
Right.
These sound like normal. I'm trying to make something, odd out of it, but okay.
I don't know. If you are from somewhere else in the United States or even in another country and you watching this and you've heard some of these, let us know in the comments below, because to us this is just...
It's talk. It's just talking.
It's just our language. A dog that is ill, what does that mean?
A dog that is ill?
Mm-hmm. You say, ooh, that dog's ill.
Oh, that dog's mean.
Okay.
Here we go.
Nastier than Kjarn.
Oh, my mother-in-law, bless her heart, everything was Kjarny. That means it's nasty.
Mm-hmm.
This Kjarn is as nasty as it gets.
Yeah, and my grandpa would use it in reference to someone who was Andrew and Kjarn.
Mm-hmm.
He'd say they're just... I just knew that was somebody, or they were Kjarny.
It's not good. If somebody says you're Kjarny, you smack them.
It's not good. Yeah, don't call me Kjarny. And it's spelled here Kyarn.
I don't know.
I don't know if there is a correct spelling for that. Okay, ambier.
That's tobacco. That's chewing tobacco.
Okay, the spit.
The spit.
From it, right? It's not something you want to talk about while you're eating jam, but somebody that's odd turned.
Odd turned. Mm-hmm. They're just weird.
Okay. I'm plumb full.
You are totally full.
Okay. The people behind the camera is what's making this funny. Going up is south and down is north.
Okay. Going up is
south and down is north.
Are we talking about our rivers?
I don't know. It just
Because
says,
where I'm from in Wayne County, the river flows north. Tug River flows north.
Mm-hmm.
So I would always say, I'm going up to Mingo County, but I was literally going south.
Yeah, yeah. So maybe that's what that's in reference to. And I had a terrible time after I moved up Lost Creek, because I grew up on top of the ridge, 2 hollers over.
Yeah.
And on top of the ridge is where I grew up from where my husband grew up. So when I would say I'm going down the holler, I would, and she'd go, no, you're going down the holler means to go out of the holler. The head of the holler is, so it took me a while to kind of get that. Apparently they didn't teach it in geography. So, and I love geography. So those were just something. What's something of your family that they would say that you say today?
I don't know. A wash.
Well, I've heard you say all kinds of stuff.
Well, okay, then what do I say?
Well, sometimes when somebody walks into the room and you're talking to somebody else about something, it's not necessarily for their ears, and sometimes we do it with the kids. They'll say, "What are you talking about?" And we'll say, "Oh, John York's Old Bull."
John York's Old Bull. That was Mother's favorite. John York's Old Bull.
And then sometimes, which you say, when the kids were eating something and the kids want something, you say, "Oh, that's too good for little kids."
As Daddy's saying. Daddy would always say, "You don't want to eat that? That's too good for little kids." Which meant you really wanted to eat this.
Yeah,
that's
good. Yeah. Now, my grandpa would say, "Enough's enough, too much is nasty."
Too much is nasty.
And gosh, I don't know. We probably say things that our grandparents said that we don't realize are colloquial. That it's just the way we talk. So.
Your whole family, I've got to jump in.
We make up. I live over on Mill Creek, and we make up stuff. Okay, but we know what we're talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
What? Give me an example.
You're talking about the dogs and the cats. How is that? You all said something different than we said.
Dog snot, cat hair.
Cat hair, yeah. What in the cat hair? And she always said,
"What in the dog snot's going on?"
And that's just 2 hollers away, two hilltops away. But ours was always, "What in the cat hair are you doing?"
And "What in the dog snot are you doing?" So I guess 2 hollers makes a big difference.
It might do it. So I don't know what you're talking about half the time.
Yeah. So my toast is getting cold. I want to finish my jam. We're going to wrap this up, and I think I have other people to feed. I mean, everybody gets toasted jam tonight for dinner. So until next time, we'll see you on Appalachian Eats.
Bye-bye.
Okay, turn it off. It's not a ball, as far as like a. You want to be a little, because this must be jam. Jam is not jelly.
Well, it must be jelly, because jam don't shake like that.
Woo!
That's what Daddy always said.
Hey. Richard Douglas.
We should do outtakes like they do on.
Nah, we're not funny. Only to us we're funny.
I'm ready.
He's your son. Do something with him.
I turned him over to you.
I signed the papers, didn't I? Okay. I love him. Look at him. It's pretty.
We're putting it on YouTube. I'm kidding.
Okay, y'all, the cameras are rolling.
All right. Got toast getting cold here.